Hello, class.
Hey!
We're going to learn 5 equations that have to do with the unit circle.
These 5 questions are going to range from easy to difficult.
Let's get started.
I'll be taking the first easy question. Cosine of 300. Since 300 degrees is in the 4th quadrant of the unit circle, subtract 360 degrees from 300 degrees. This would equal 60 degrees. So put cosine equals 60 degrees, and now you can solve. Cosine of 60 is equal to 1/2. Okay, next.
I'll be taking the easy to medium equation. Graph 2 cosecant 2x. Let's break down the equation. A, aka amplitude, equals 2. P, aka period, equals 2 pi over 2. Your answer should be pi after simplifying. Next, put pi over 4. Since you can't simplify, that will be your first point on the x-axis. Since you still need 3 more points, you multiply pi over 4 by 2, then 3, and then 4. All your points on the x-axis in total should equal the following: pi over 4, pi over 2, 3 pi over 4, and pi. Draw your graph and plot these points on the x-axis. On your y-axis, plot your points from 1 to 2. 2 comes from your amplitude. Follow the line so you can see how to graph. This graph is similar to the sine graph. However, we are not graphing sine. Since we are not graphing sine, we have to make some changes. Change the line to a dotted line, which you can do beforehand. Every time the dotted line hits the x-axis, separate each section with vertical dotted lines. Every time you see what looks like a parabola in each section, reflect the parabola like this. And that is how you graph. Back to you, Carolina.
I'll be taking the median equation. Solve 2 cosine x plus square root of 2 is equal to 0. First, subtract the square root of 2 on both sides of the equation. Now you have 2 cosine x is equal to negative square root of 2. Divide 2 on both sides of the equation. Now you have cosine x is equal to negative square root of 2 over 2. Remember, cosine is the same as x in a pair of points. So now you must remember when x is equal to negative square root of 2 over 2 on the unit circle. Negative square root of 2 over 2 occurs on the x-axis in quadrants 2 and 3. So write down 3 pi over 4 for quadrant 2 and 5 pi over 4 for quadrant 3. However, when you're dealing with cosine, you must add 2 pi to each answer. So your answer in full should be 3 pi over 4 plus 2 and pi, 5 pi over 4 plus 2 and pi. Let's move on to a more difficult equation.
I'll be taking the medium to difficult equation. Tangent 120. There are multiple ways to solve this. We'll subtract 2 degrees from the unit circle so that they equal to 120. These 2 degrees are 300 degrees and 180 degrees. According to the sum and difference formula for the difference of tangent, this should be your equation. Tangent 300 minus 180 equals tangent 300 minus tangent 180 over 1 plus tangent 300 times tangent 180. Let's separate the top and the bottom. The top is tangent 300 equals negative square root of 3. Tangent 180 equals 0. Negative square root of 3 minus 0 equals negative square root of 3. Bottom. 1 plus negative square root of 3 times 0 equals 1 plus 0 equals 1. As a result, the answer is negative square root of 3. On to the last question!
I'll be taking the difficult equation. Sine 2x minus sine x is equal to 0. According to the double angle formula, sine 2x equals 2 sine x cosine x. So you will change the equation to 2 sine x cosine x minus sine x is equal to 0. Divide sine x on each side of the minus, so that you result with sine x 2 cosine x minus 1 is equal to 0. Separate sine x from the parentheses and equal both to 0. Solve for both. Sine x equals to 0. 2 cosine x minus 1 is equal to 0. Sine x would equal to 0. Sine x is associated with the y point on a pair of points. On the unit circle, y is equal to 0 on pi and 2 pi. 2 pi, however, equals 0, so your first answer will be 0 pi. But just like with cosine, you must add 2 pi for sine as well. Your final answer is 0 plus 2n pi, pi plus 2n pi. Now, 2 cosine x minus 1 is equal to 0. For that one, you subtract 1 on each side of the equation, so you end up with 2 cosine x is equal to 1. Then divide 2 on each side of the equation, which makes it cosine x is equal to 1/2. X is equal to 1/2 on pi over 3 and 5 pi over 3. Your final answer will be pi over 3 plus 2n pi and 5 pi over 3 plus 2n pi. And that concludes it all.
Now to show them the bloopers.
Yep.
Let's break down the equation. A no. No. Since you can't simplify, that will be your first point on the x-axis. Since you need 3 more points, you multiply pi over what? This graph is similar to the sine graph. However, we are not graphing this. Oh no. Every time you see what looks like a parabola in each section, reflect the parabola. There are multiple ways to solve this. We'll subtract 2 degrees from the unit circle so that they equal to 20. 120. Bottom. 1 plus 1, what? No.
Negative square root of 2 over 2 occurs on the x-axis in quadrants 3 and 11 and 3. However, when you're dealing with cosines, you must add 2 pi to each answer. So your answer in full should be... The phone is ringing.
Thank you all for watching.
Have a great day.